What's up everyone, my name is Nunu, welcome to Beginner's Guide to Sim Racing. I'm starting a new series on my channel. It will cover everything from the basics of sim racing to more advanced stuff, which you will learn later on and all that jazz. So if you're like me, wants to learn more about sim racing, I reckon you tune into this and watch it. Today we will be covering how to get started, how to get into it, how to get your gear controller, whatever whatever you want to have on what platform you are on. So if you want to know more about that, basically beginner starting getting into sim racing, if you want to know more about that, I reckon you tune in. And now I hope you enjoy the video. Having the best gear in the world will make you the fastest driver that exists. Or will it? No, it won't. It absolutely won't. Not necessarily. I personally, I went from a Logitech, which is a kind of a cheap wheel, to a Fanatec. I would say I got a little bit faster, but that was not because of the gear. I could feel the better the limits of the car. Still had to get used to it. I maybe got a little bit more consistent, but that is because I managed to adapt to it quite quickly. I have seen many people being fast on dog shit wheels or controllers or keyboard. Or just wheels in general. Like it doesn't change your speed. Like you could have the worst wheel that exists and be alien pace if you're just good enough at it. So having a bad wheel doesn't necessarily make you bad. Driving with a keyboard needs no explanation. You press one button to go one way and press another button to go another way. Of course, it would be getting a bit rough whenever you turn the car. A bit edgy. I would recommend getting a wheel, but a keyboard if you're gonna just be starting out, just seeing if racing is anything for you. If you already have a keyboard, I would just recommend using that, buying a cheap game or something, seeing if it's something for you, and then after that you can invest in a wheel. Probably a little bit better in my opinion than a keyboard is a controller. Instead of only, on a keyboard you can only turn max or nothing. On a controller I believe there's 2 or 3 different steps that you can turn in. So a little bit more control over the car, maybe vibration in the controller, so you can feel a little bit more. I've seen many alien people, more alien people with the controller than I've seen with a keyboard. But I recommend getting a controller if you don't want to get a wheel or just don't want to use your keyboard. So, you want to get a wheel, but you don't really have a lot of money in your pocket. Cheap wheels, they're wheels like the Logitech G29, absolutely fine wheel, great wheel for its value. I believe it's around $300 or $200 even, if you could get like, or £200, €200, whatever, about there. You'll look it up on the internet, which you get what you pay for. It's a nice wheel. For starters, I started with it, I got a long way with it. I don't know if I would recommend other stuff. I haven't really tried anything else than the Logitech as like a cheap budget wheel. I haven't tried anything else, but you can definitely get cheaper wheels if that's it. But at that point, you'll just start losing very basic stuff like force feedback, maybe travel in the brakes and stuff, which you don't want to, because it will just make the experience worse, and you'll probably also be slower, and it will just be terrible. So if you don't have a lot of money, I recommend getting a Logitech. As I said, if you're wanting to get into this, sim racing is expensive, especially if you want to go have a bit more of stuff. It's more expensive than maybe playing normal computer games, because you want wheels and all that jazz. But I would recommend getting a Logitech for starters. So, to get to the medium-priced wheels, most of the good ones, we have to double the price of the Logitech or just thereabout. Here we have the cheapest parts of the Fanatec Thrustmaster ecosystems. I would recommend getting them if you want a little bit more than what your Logitech wheel already is, and you want to get into it and you know that you have committed to it, because it costs a bit more. I have a Fanatec. I can say it's an absolutely great experience. Haven't really tried the Thrustmaster too much, but Fanatec, absolutely amazing. The thing about these ecosystems are, if you want to upgrade your wheel, you can upgrade your wheel. You can equip a new rim. You can use different rims and all that jazz with the quick release systems. And it's absolutely great. The thing is, this is a bit more expensive. So, I recommend getting, especially in the Fanatec. I know Fanatec. I would recommend getting the CSL Elite, or the Thrustmaster TSPC Race or something like that. Which they are great wheels. They're a bit more expensive, but I would recommend getting them if you're a bit more into sim racing. High-end wheels will typically be a direct drive wheel, whether you're looking at an OSW or a Fanatec or any other kind of wheel. It will typically be a direct drive wheel, which this can cost up to thousands of euros or whatever currency you're in, thousands of them, and it's very, very expensive, but you get what you pay for. They have, or sometimes you do, they have so much power, these things. I've tried them before. They feel so accurate and precise, but if you're just a beginner, I would not recommend getting close to this, only if you have the money, because you can get very, very good wheels for that are not direct drive, that aren't this expensive. But if you really, really, really want something that's extremely expensive, just the best of the best, you need to look into websites. I don't know if I would recommend them because they are expensive. I'm not thinking about buying one in the future. If I'm going to be buying one, it's probably going to be the Fanatec DD1 or the DD2, which in itself, just the wheelbase, costs 1,000 or 1,500 euros, which is really, really expensive. So, triple screen and VR are both extremely freaking immersive. This is some triple screen video from Let's Go Race, as you can see. Makes very good videos. I reckon you check him out. But it's extremely immersive, both of these things. Like, you have VR, you have screens right in front of you. You can look around everywhere. Triple screen. You can see 180 degrees in front of you. See where the car goes and all that jazz. I'm trying to get enough money for a triple screen at the moment. I have a VR headset, but I'm gonna sell it because I don't really enjoy it. In my opinion, VR, it's great. It's great in immersion. It's really awesome. Some people love driving like endurance races with it, but I don't feel like I can go more than 10 to 20 minutes with it before I get too sweaty, and it kind of gets uncomfortable after that, because you have this giant box on your head. So in my opinion, it's extremely immersive. It's really nice, but for me, I don't use it because I do a lot of endurance races, so I don't really use it, and I'm gonna plan to sell it. Triple screen, I'm trying to get that, as you don't have this giant box on your head. You'll of course need to have a pretty beastie computer, but if you have that, you will. Of course, triple screen is expensive because you need 3 different screens and like games that can run it. But both of them are extremely immersive. I reckon you look into them if you've already done some sim racing and you're looking just to get more immersion. You might want to see if you can get one of these things. Cockpits and motion rigs are pretty much another add-on. This is me trying a motion rig, very, very extreme. So you don't need to get this. I have an F1 GT, which is just a normal cockpit in my home. Very nice and cheap. It's nice. It works how it's supposed to. But on the video, you see me trying what you call a motion rig, full-on motion rig, whatever you call it. But it was absolutely insane. I tried it at Le Mans. You have this insane immersion. You have a feeling of where the car's going, but you kind of get scared because you see, it's really immersive and really nice, but it costs a buttload of money. So I probably wouldn't recommend getting this. Unless you want like a pro thing or something like extremely pro and have a buttload of money, then I don't really think this is the thing you want to get, because you need in the floor and all that jazz, insane stuff as well to keep it planted. So if you're trying to grow a business and all that jazz, maybe get these or something like that. But anyways, that is everything for this video. I hope you find out what kind of gear you wanted in this video or something in that style. Of course, next episode we will be going over games, what games you want to start out with, what games you should get, what games you want to get, what you want to do in these games and all that jazz, and mods and stuff like that, getting set up. So now that you have the gear, you're ready to get games, we're going to be going over that in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe. I hope I made your day just a little bit better, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.